All right, so let's talk about SQLMap and why this tool has just been kicking my butt and humbling me the past few nights. I mean, I'm studying for my web app pen test, of course. It's this weekend, and so hopefully things will go well. But focusing on the few weak areas that I have and tightening them up along with my notes. And on paper, SQLMap is supposed to be this easy button for SQL injections. But it's actually, an open source tool that automates finding and actually exploiting the SQLi, SQL injections, and supports tons of databases, and it can do everything from fingerprinting the database to actually dumping the tables. And my first few nights with SQLMap just, like I said, it just didn't go that well. And so what actually happened was I'd fire up the labs that we have there on, SANS inside of course, the course. And there'd be a vulnerable app, and I'd grab the URL and throw it into SQLMap. And then I'd just be sitting there watching just a bunch of text scroll down. And half the time it wouldn't find anything. And the other half, I didn't really actually understand what it found. So I knew SQL injection concepts from the slides and, of course, the videos, but there was this big gap between I understand SQLi and I can actually drive this tool with confidence. So let me walk you through three things that have made SQLMap feel harder than it looks, and then I'll quickly show you how I'm working through them kind of in my notes, few CLI examples. The first problem was understanding what SQLMap was actually doing under the hood. And it was trying like different techniques like, Boolean based, union, time based, or even error based, and it was doing this across different parameters. And so when you're new, you just see progress bars and some warnings, and occasionally a parameter appears to be injectable. And I was actually treating, the output there like noise and just waiting for, do you want to dump the database? But instead of paying attention to which technique worked and on which parameter, which actually was the key. And so the second problem was actually constantly feeding SQLMap like the wrong input. And most tutorials will show these clean get parameters in the URL, but in the real labs, I've got post requests or cross-site request forgery tokens, cookies, and maybe even JSON or hidden fields. And I'd copy the visible URL and run SQLMap, but then I'd actually wonder why it wasn't finding anything. And it wasn't that the app wasn't vulnerable. It was actually that I was giving SQLMap the same request that my browser was actually sending. And the third one is just option overload. I mean, there's flags galore. I mean, again, SQLMap is a feature rich type of, product. I mean, there's tamper scripts, threading, proxies, all that good stuff. And again, numerous flags to use. So I had to dial it back, focus on the simple things, and just take my time. So here's how I've gotten to kind of untangling it and letting it make a little bit better sense for me, again, days before my exam. So instead of guessing the parameters, I started each lab in the browser, and then I started to immediately look at Burp. And so I'd load the target page and fill out a form or click the link, the one that I cared about, and just intercept that request. And the key was to actually save the request to a file. So I often call it like request.txt. And so then on the CLI, I'd say something like this: SQLmap-R request.txt -- batch. And so what this actually tells SQLMap is don't just guess, actually replay exactly what I captured. I mean, the same header, same cookies, same method body, everything. And so if there's SQL injection in that flow, SQLMap now has a real shot at finding it because I'm not actually dropping just random parameters. And so from there, I'd watch what it reports. And if it says parameter X appears to be vulnerable, let's say to Boolean based blind, like I'd pause it and actually think, okay, if I were to do this manual, like what condition would I test? What would the true or false response look like? And so these type of questions began to kind of connect the dots at, what the SQLMap's output was and actually the underlying SQLi concepts. And that was kind of crucial for me to kind of connect those dots, like I said. And, you know, just changing how I practice, and instead of bouncing around, you know, from my sand stuff to, you know, try hack me or, you know, other CTF room, this is a sans test. So I just stayed focused on the material and the methodologies that they had here. And, you know, various other types of CLI commands with my specific, you know, syntax and just little notes on kind of why that meant something. And that's really what helped me. And so without boring you with, you know, more syntax or whatnot, that's just trust that, you know, I've been taking a little bit better notes. So if you're in the same phase, like, you know, you're watching this with whether SQLMap or anything else that, you know, it's just buggy. I mean, just first stop beating yourself up. I mean, the tools, the apps, all the things that we're learning in our journey, they're very powerful, and oftentimes there's a steep learning curve to quote unquote master them, but to gain that, you know, baseline understanding and to tie it back to the concepts, I think that's the key, you know. And so every time we've got an automated tool, like learning how to do it the manual way, even if it was AWS, you know, if you know how to do something in the console or in the browser, it makes terraforming it and understanding the steps a little bit better. So the same holds true here, you know. And like I said, I'm starting to treat these labs like a gym. I'm not going into no muscle or gym routine rep type thing like that, but that's really what it is. It's building the muscle up here, as well as, you know, that mental fortitude that we need to have, but also the muscle memories here on the keyboard, and things will just start to click. So, you know, that's really kind of what I'm doing, and we'll actually get back to labbing here in a bit. And sorry, like I said, these concepts do apply to OSCP somewhat, but I've had to pivot for, you know, 2 to 3 days to really focus and pass this exam. I'm also, of course, in school while studying for my OSCP, and no excuses, work life, family, or anything like that. We just get her done. So thank each and every one of you again for rocking in here with me. Give me some feedback down below, and I definitely need it, and I'll use it as encouragement. But until next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and peace.